How do you support an addict on the road to recovery?
Ooh, that's a big one.
That is a good one.
It's going to be so good. Good and big right here, Mended Light. This is Ask the Therapist. Joining me today are
Chase Brewer.
Jessica Manio.
our Mended Light therapeutic team. And the question of the day is, how can you help an addict on their road to recovery? Beginning arguments.
I don't even know where you start with this. This is a big one.
Always show love. Always show love for the addict.
How so and why?
Understanding that they're not a monster, that this is an addiction, and it's hard to kick.
Yeah. Because they often shame themselves an awful lot, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and how do we show love while not saying the behavior is okay? Because we want the love to be unconditional, and if we're saying the behavior isn't okay, it can start to feel like conditional love. So how do we thread that needle? Any ideas?
Well, I think it kind of circles back to codependency, and we know that's like a very common thing with addicts and supporting people in recovery. And so it's again having, I think, boundaries around it, being able to show compassion, grace, empathy, understanding, all those things that come with loving somebody, but also having boundaries around yourself and your needs, and being able to protect yourself in that situation as well. I can support you without sacrificing or losing me and what I need to feel safe and feel okay.
Because there's a difference between love and trust, right? So I can support you and I can show love for you while still drawing boundaries for myself. And what if we're going to have a relationship, or even if we're going to be in the same space right now, like maybe our relationship continues, but we can't be in the same space right now because some things have got to get sorted. So lead with love. I love it.
Yeah.
So I am a certified instructor in the American Lung Association's Freedom from Smoking program. And I learned some actually amazing tips for how to break, it's about smoking, but really any addiction, right? So this plays into how you can support an addict. You need to understand their journey. So the first thing is that an addiction is multifaceted, right? It's not just, for example, if smoking is my problem, I feel a nicotine deficiency and I need nicotine, so I smoke, right? That's the physical side of things, right? I feel the urge, I feel the craving. There's a psychological side of things. I smoke every morning with my coffee. I smoke every day at lunch, every day at 10:30, every evening at 11. Like I have a cigarette. This is part of my daily routine. This is part of my habit. Or I smoke when I am stressed, or when I'm bored, or when I'm sad, or when I'm anxious. So there's a physical, there's emotional, there's a social. I smoke with these people at this times, and this is how we connect, right? The addict that you love is going to have to attack this from several different angles. And it's all about healthy replacements. So the very first thing that I would recommend after love and after drawing boundaries for yourself is helping your addict. It's like a little puppy. How do you help your addict? Helping your addict with healthy replacements. So what are some reasons people turn to addictive behaviors, and what could be some healthy replacements for those?
Well, I think to kind of just piggyback on what you said, and this is again another Gabor Mate, who's like a guru mentor of mine that I just I'm obsessed with. But years ago, I was at a conference and he was speaking, and he talked about this idea of addiction. Instead of looking like why the addiction, we have to think why the pain. What's causing the pain that we're numbing, we're soothing. We know whether it's having a cigarette, having a drink, buying something online. So I think that has been helpful in my work with addicts and their partners, their family, their friends, framing it like there's usually, like you said, there's loneliness, sadness, stress, like there's something going on, and that addiction is becoming a way to cope with whatever it is. And so if we frame it in that way, I think it becomes easier to start looking at what are healthier behaviors or alternatives we can use.
Yeah. I liked what you said, Jessica, when you added stress, because there's daily stress, there's life stress, that's multifaceted, that changes from day to day, or week to week, or month to month. And when we deal with this stress, we can turn to smoking as a relief.
It could be online shopping, it could be eating, it could be pornography, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, but it's all coping, right? It's all just like, I don't want to feel this anymore, I want it to go away. Right? And so helping the person in your life find healthy replacements, having that conversation with them about what's going to help you when you're bored to not feel bored, when you're stressed to relieve stress, so what's going to help you that's not going to hurt you, and then how can I support you in that, So if it's compulsive shopping, if that's what your loved one does, What else would help you to feel happy? Going hiking. Okay, can I be your hiking buddy?
Yeah.
You know, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. How can you get that hit of dopamine, increase that serotonin without filling your cart and clicking?
Yeah.
Buy now.
Right. What's in your tool bag? What's your resource network? What's your social network? Right. Support group.
Yeah.
And what's your desire? All of these play a part in how you can take that step by step of freeing yourself from that addiction.
Yeah.
And also knowing that this is going to come and go in waves. This is a lifelong process that is going to require you to be mindful of and showing yourself compassion too, a lot of compassion.
And you can guide your loved one to compassion by showing them that compassion for starters, and then they can have it for themselves.
Exactly.
Right? I think a reason why people like struggle to break whatever they're addicted to is they're trying to break it because they're ashamed. But the thing is, shame is a triggering emotion, and so they often turn to the very thing that makes them feel ashamed to feel better and escape the shame. And it doesn't seem to make sense rationally, but this isn't a rational process. This is a physiochemical process. I feel ashamed, I turn to this thing, I feel better, and then when I'm done feeling better, I feel ashamed again. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And something that I found really helpful, because I have had compulsive behaviors and things that I've turned to that were unhealthy coping mechanisms, was stripping the shame of it. Was, you know, in this case, I mean, some of you have watched Alicia and my videos of me breaking my pornography habit, came down to stripping the shame of it and just looking at it as, this isn't something that I personally want in my life. It doesn't align with my values. It's not it's not who I want to be. And it's affecting my view of relationships and sexuality in that case, right? And I want to turn towards something healthier. So instead of, I want to stop doing this so I can stop feeling ashamed, it's, I want to do something different so that I can feel happy and positive. Something Alicia says a lot is that when you say, I want to stop doing this or not do that, like your body doesn't hear stop, your brain doesn't hear stop and not, it just hears the behavior that you're saying you're going to stop, right? I want to stop drinking, your brain just hears drinking, right? I'm going to stop smoking, it just hears smoking. That instead you focus on what you want to do, right? What the replacement is, and that's where your focus lies.
Well, and I think, you know, when you're talking about like this toolkit, I think that's something I work on with my clients, that let's develop a toolkit of strategies and techniques and things. So when our nervous system is dysregulated, when, you know, we're feeling that shame and all of a sudden it's putting us in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, or whatever is coming up, and okay, I need to go watch pornography, or I need to have a drink, whatever it is, to kind of soothe and come back to what I always call the green zone with my clients, that it's like, okay, instead of doing that, I already have created a toolkit. I'm going to go for a walk for 10 minutes. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to phone a friend. I'm, you know, going to do some tapping. I'm going to do some breathing, like little things that let's like build that capacity, have it kind of on standby. So when it's like, okay, I can feel myself, I can feel the stress coming. I can feel the overwhelm. I have kind of go-to things ready to use.
It's like you said, what's in your tool belt?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing that we need to really be mindful about is, you know, we can really be hard on ourselves inside our head. We can be really nasty to ourselves. And when we get ourselves caught up in that mindset, you said this to me once, Jonathan, that's really just made all the difference when working with my clients. They can get caught up in this mentality that it's all or nothing, right? If I make it 6 months and then I slip up once, I have to start all the way back over, and I have to reestablish that.
I'm a failure and I'm never going to beat this, and
And then what's the point of even trying?
Exactly. So I have to make it to that 6 month mark, then trying to keep going from there. But that's not the case. This is a marathon. There's no referees out there that whistles at you to say, oh, you're walking, you have to go back to the finish line and start this 26.2 mile race again.
Are you a marathon runner?
I am not, but my
you got the build of a marathon.
My in-laws are.
Okay, I was like, you know all those facts.
And so, sometimes you need to take a bathroom break. Sometimes you need to get a drink of water or a power drinker.
It's true.
But you don't start over. You just keep going. Right?
Some marathoners are super intense and they don't even take the bathroom breaks. They just go like horses on the... I've been there. It happens. It's gross.
Are you saying you're a marathon runner?
No. I'm saying I ran a marathon and there's a difference. I ran half a marathon and I hobbled the other half. I thought it was going to be a lifestyle choice, like a big change for me. And then once I crossed the finish line, I'm like, no, that was a bucket list item. We're not going back to this.
Done,
I did it.
checked it off.
We're done. No, but you're absolutely right. And when I was trying to kick my pornography habit, I had a mentor who I felt very ashamed because I had, I'd fallen off again and I slipped up. And he says, well, how long has it been? I'm like, it's been 3 weeks, like the in between incidents. He's like, at the worst, what was it? I'm like, it was every day. He's like, that's a victory. You shouldn't be down on yourself. You should be saying this is a step in the victory. I know Chase is a big movie person. I don't know. I actually don't know if you're a big movie person. Yeah, kind of. But
yeah, I feel like that's really taboo to say.
It's okay. My wife's not a movie person. Everyone's welcome here. But in the movie Man of Steel, when he's like learning to be Superman, before he flies, like he takes some bounding steps. And then he bounds and he comes down. And then he bounds further. Yes. And then finally he takes off and he stays up. And I feel like overcoming addiction is a lot like that. Like you're going to get some momentum and then you're going to come down. But next time you get even more until finally you're flying. Mm-hmm. Speaking of feeling discouraged when you're wrestling with addiction, what do you do if you feel hopeless and depressed? I answered that in an Ask a Therapist video that you can watch right here above Chase's head. So click right above there.
If any of you have struggled with any kind of addiction, and have any advice for the viewers, please leave a comment below.
And if you have any questions for us, of course, leave comments below too. We will read through them and use them for future videos.
Yeah, we will. Thanks for watching, everybody. Keep shining. We need your light. And here is that video we told you about. You got time. You're just sitting on the toilet.